Hi there, my name is Toby and today I want to talk about evolution. Now it's not going to be what you think, so please bear with me, give me a chance to explain my ideas about this. These are very logical ideas and it's the only real solution to what's going on. You see, we've got evolution, modern science talks about that, but you also got to understand there's no evidence for this anyway. There is no evidence for it. There's nothing in the fossil records that shows these stages in between. There isn't. You've got to do a bit of research to find that out. And also mathematicians have done calculations to try and work out the probability of life emerging just like that. And the probabilities are so ridiculous, you might as well say no, that it just can't be possible. Complex life to emerge just by chance, the mathematics is insane. No, can't be done. So then, of course, you think, well, it must be creation. Someone must have created this. And then we've got the religious side. It's so complicated, so unique that it must be created. But you can't have a creator either. I've talked about this before on the origins of the universe, Big Bang. You can't have a creator. It's a very simple reason, a childish reason, but the question is, well, if there was a creator, who created the creator? And then it goes on, well, who created that creator? And if they're eternal, immortal, what were they doing for eternity until they decided to create us? No, there's no creator. You can't have it. It's a logical fallacy. It means there's only one thing left. It's only one thing left, which is a steady state universe. Steady state universe. That is ether physics, or my ether physics. And I think it's the only logical answer. And there will be some people that agree with me on this. Now, steady state universe means it's always here, no creative moment, no moment of creation. And again, very simply, it's because of mathematics. Mathematics is eternal, outside time and space. Mathematics exists, therefore the universe exists. Again, you've got to look at my previous lectures on that. But that means for evolution, what does that mean? Well, again, it means steady state universe. We're always here. They're always here. There's no evolution. There is evolution. I'm going to come to that. But it means humanoids, us, are always here. The universe is always here, and we are always here. There's no beginning, no end. And all life forms are always here. Small ones, up to big ones, always here. Now they are always varying, always variations, but variations on a theme. And the theme of living structures is based on golden ratio mathematics. So again, I talked about it, the mathematics of the golden ratio governs the universe, the creation of the universe. But, as I said, it's created and destroyed every moment. So it's a continuous, steady state process of creation and destruction. And that's what life is as well. Life and death is a continuous, steady state process of creation and destruction. And it's always here. So there's no evolution. We didn't evolve from anything. We weren't created. We were always here. Now, I've got to explain this again. If you look at my other video on the human codex, again, part of the Aether Physics series, I start to explain morphic resonance. Really, it's morphic resonance. The geometry or the structure, the morphology of a living being, let's say us, a humanoid structure, this body, is a particular geometry, the most efficient geometry for a consciousness to interact with the material world. And I mean a self-aware consciousness. At the level of self-awareness, we've got to be able to create things. We've got to be able to do technology. Once we can do technology, we're moving into a higher level of consciousness because we're outside even our body. We're controlling the material universe outside of our body as well. That's technology. That requires higher consciousness. So a higher consciousness moves above just a body, a living organism. Again, very deep. I'll come to this more. But what I'm saying here, what it means is the shape, the geometry, that is metaphysics, that is mathematics. Mathematics, metaphysics is eternal, is outside space and time. So the ideal, the most efficient geometry for a self-aware being metaphysical geometry, the human codex, is also eternal. Because the mathematics for this body is always here, it means this body is also always here. So there's no evolution, but as I said, the evolution is of consciousness. We are evolving, and that means growing up. Evolution just means growing up. You know, a child is evolving into an adult as they learn, they grow up. See, a child just doesn't know what they're doing. They're trying to move their body and move things around. As they get older, they realise they can start building things, putting things together. As you get older, more wise, more understanding, now you're doing technology. You can start really creating things. You can see how consciousness is moving up from not doing anything much to actually now manipulating the external world. The more intelligent you get, well, now we're getting more advanced consciousness, talking about aliens. They're building more advanced technology. They're still humanoids. Like I said, all self-aware beings are going to be humanoids. They have to, because of the geometry of the golden ratio. It's got to be efficient. It's got to be optimum geometry or it won't work. Now you can have variations, a lot of variations. You can push it to some degree, but you can't do crazy things. It's only so many geometric forms, or in other words, they must follow the mathematics of the golden ratio to be real, to actually manifest a living being. So that morphology, that morphic resonance is always here. It's a steady state universe for living beings also. Now the evolution, again, we can talk about it in, say, the ancient Hindus. The ancient Hindu religion, they talk about reincarnation and transmigration of the soul. So they would say, well, the soul starts in low-level life forms, and then you take rebirth into a higher life form, rebirth into a higher life form, till you become human. So, you know, I might have been, I don't know, an animal in my last birth. And this birth, I'm now a human. Next birth, I might be a more advanced human. I don't know what they talk about extraterrestrials, but then, of course, they're talking about divine beings, immortals. Same sort of thing, same sort of thing. It just means, again, a physically manifest living being with a higher intelligence. But it's still going to be humanoid. So like I say, it might have a bigger head, but still humanoid, still basically humanoid. So they say they're transmigration of the soul. Again, not quite right, not quite right. You see, it's correct if you look at the totality of the ether. Remember, the ether, the force, that is spirit, pure field of spirit, metaphysics. It's not physical. It's not physical. There's no physicality to it. It's pure imagination. It's not physical. But mathematics is also real, but it's in consciousness. Imagination, remember, not all imagination can come into reality. The only way imagination gets into reality is through the mathematics of the golden ratio. You must follow the rules. Anyway, the point being is, as the totality of spirit, that totality permeates the universe. It permeates the small living organisms, the bacteria. It permeates, you know, the fish, the insects, that level. It gives them awareness. It permeates the smaller creatures, the mice, the rats, whatever, the lizards. It permeates the monkeys, the tigers, bigger animals, more intelligent, the whales, the dolphins, and it permeates up towards us, living beings, as self-aware humanoids. Self-aware humanoids. So that is a totality. It will permeate, and it looks like an evolution. There's a sort of hierarchy. It's not really a hierarchy, it's just simply different concentrations of spirit. Now, so a low level has got a low level concentration, but like bacteria, each bacteria is very low level. It's in its own right, it's very powerful, but for our level, it's tiny. But altogether, a bunch of bacteria, that is like an energy in its own right. That's a thing. So due to coherence, smaller life forms cohere together in a group. So now you have a group of smaller life forms, and that gives it a more sort of powerful consciousness. That's like the soul or the spirit of that organism. You need lots of them. And as you go up to another level, you say higher animals, again, not quite something like ants. Let's take ants, insects. You can see it in ants, bees, wasps. They work in a hive, work together. They're like these bacteria. They're all working together. Each one is powerful in its own right, but they're not, they're not that much spirit in there to, they've got no awareness, very low level. But together, one big group, that gives them a soul, a spirit. And now they're due to coherence. I talk about it a lot in Aether Physics. Coherence is the way the universe works. So coherence, that gives them a soul spirit, all the ants. And the ants cover the earth. Termites and ants, all different types, covering the earth. The earth is alive with this stuff. Then further up, so bigger animals, they've got more spirit in the individual. So they're becoming more separate. But only, and here's the thing, only at the level of a humanoid do you have the self-awareness, complete self-awareness. Below that, not quite total self-awareness, it's a group spirit. At level of self-awareness, I'm defining it as a singularity of spirit. At this point, enough spirit has got together and cohered that, boom, there's self-awareness. Now, you can call that a soul. So a soul is a singularity of spirit. So a soul, a humanoid soul, cannot appear in an ant, for example, because an ant cannot handle, it cannot hold that much spirit. It cannot hold a humanoid spirit inside it. Do you see? That's why you cannot have transmigration of the soul, because the soul will only exist on a humanoid level. Now, it can exist above the humanoid level. Like I said, I've talked about it once before, but this is the evolution. This is the real evolution of consciousness that's happening. At this level of humanoid, above it, what's above it? Above it is technology. But as you go into higher and higher technology, you're going back to the ether. In other words, the higher technology is to build an energy body. You actually build technology in the ether. And the way you do that has got to have intention. The ether is not physical, it is spirit. Now you're playing with spirit. So the higher technology, the higher consciousness is an energy body, not a physical body. Now you're moving to immortality, outside time. So this is the evolution of the soul. But like I said, all levels of energy are always there. It's a steady state universe. So there's always beings of energy about. At that level, they're always there. At this level, humanoid, we're always here. At lower animal levels, they're always there. There's a hierarchy of spirit. It's not a hierarchy. It's levels of concentration of spirit. At the humanoid level, there's enough to have self-awareness. So now we call it a soul. And now again, reincarnation means, again, you need another humanoid. It's got to be humanoid. But again, reincarnation, yeah, it doesn't quite work how they say it. It still requires a mastery. For example, a master at the level of an energy body, they now, when this body runs out, or anything happens to this body, their consciousness is still sustained in another body. They have not actually died. Here's the thing, they have not actually died. When you die, it's like your consciousness, your soul has actually separated a little bit and disappeared back to the ether. That's okay, you're not really dead, you're existing in the ether. But you've transferred over into metaphysics. You've gone completely over. You've transferred from physics into spirit metaphysics. An energy body is still in between. It means they have not died. The body, physical body, is not here, but the consciousness is in an energy body. It's still partially physical. They have not transferred all the way over to metaphysics. They're still maintaining the human codex. They are still controlling enough intention to hold a morphology, a geometry, but it's basically now electromagnetic. So slight. That's why you can have these, ghost hunters. The room gets cold. It's cold in here. It's all right. It's good energy in here. And you can detect it. You can detect, these psychic ghost things. But a slight change in temperature. It's a slight disturbance in the electromagnetic field. That's all it is. But it means that energy is still partially physical. It's etheric energy. So there are layers between physical world and the spirit world. And the layers are in the etheric energy. But there's always combinations. Everything is always here. In this body, I've got a physical body. But inside my physical body, I got an etheric body. It's inside. Now, for me to get that body to leave, that's difficult training. Difficult training, not easy. Not easy, but it can be done. I've done it. I haven't done it for a long time. I have not been bothered to do it. I've only been bothered to build it inside this body because I want this physical body to be strong, live on. So you've got to focus it all down into the physical body. See, remember, the masters were searching, or the Tao masters were searching for physical immortality as well. If they couldn't achieve physical immortality, the next best would be energy body immortality. You see, the other ones, the yogis, just want to go. Let's just go. No, no, no. Don't go back to nirvana, the spirit. Now you've transferred all the way. Your soul is dissolved into the unconscious. Now, again, doesn't mean you've lost those loved ones. They're still there. But like I said, you have to find them only in spirit. And you can all go to spirit and find them. But to have one in an energy body, that's like actually, he'd be here sitting next to me. Energy body, I could sort of feel it a little bit. You'd have some slight physical interaction. Some slight thing. You know, a leaf will fall in a tree and you feel, oh, someone is there. Something. That's an etheric body. So that's where the evolution really lies. It's the evolution of consciousness. But as more consciousness gets together, that is a higher evolved being. So there is a hierarchy of consciousness that is like an evolution. And there's a flow, there's a movement between that. That's what the chakras are. Base chakra to high chakra. Base chakra, low level evolution. High chakra, high level evolution. You evolve the energy up in your meditations. You pass yourself through the process of evolution until you develop an energy body. That's the goal. That's again the Jedi. You look at the Jedi, they have the energy body. Remember Darth Vader, Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan says, strike me down now and I shall become more powerful than you can ever imagine. So he don't understand, he strikes him down. Because the dark side don't understand the power, real power of spirit. They can't. They're still obsessed with physical power and dominance. In the spirit, let it go. He let it go. Obi-Wan, let it go. I'm out of here. But he wasn't. He was ready in his energy body. One moment, oh, now he's in the energy body. Because Luke Skywalker, he's very sad. He can't see it. But later on, when Luke Skywalker gets in contact with the Force, he finds Obi-Wan talking to him. It's the real deal. It's the real deal. It's how it works. It's how it works. You train your energy, you build your body strength, and eventually you will also connect to the spirit world. But it's real. You've got to understand the science. Again, it's scientific. This is Aether Physics. It is the physics of the soul and the spirit. Metaphysics and physics. We've got to understand them both. We've got to understand them both. So I hope this little talk about evolution made sense. Please do check out my whole Aether Physics series and check through my channel. I talk about this in so many different ways. But I'm always saying one and the same thing. The Force is real. It is the spirit. Metaphysics, and we have to look at it. We have to study the soul spirit as a science. So thank you so much for listening, for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.